Um, I used to feel that minorities were segregated from the general population, but now as a teacher, I can see that there is more people getting together compared to 30 years ago. I live in a neighborhood that has diverse races, um, but I still see that there are communities where you see only one type of race. But I think people are changing and are being more accepting of each other. I have had students who come from different races. For example, I had a student who was Hispanic Cambodian, and at one time in the 80s, Cambodians and Hispanics were not getting along very well, and there was even a war. They called it a war between Asians and Latinos. And nowadays, you see a lot of, in my case, I see a lot of students who have uh, races, for example, African American and Hispanic, white and Hispanic, and uh, and that's a sign that people are accepting each other as races and getting together more. But I think we still have a long way to go.
As far as when I was a child, having been asked if there was racial segregation growing up in Long Beach, yes, there certainly was. I mean, I was only a child, so I don't really know the legalities of it, but I do know that there was one area of Long Beach that was considered the black town, and there was another, west side of Long Beach was considered Latino town, and primarily those groups of people stayed in those areas, more than likely because they couldn't afford to move out of those areas at the time. But over the years, it's changed. I've seen many people of color move into some white neighborhoods that I've lived in, and I think that I have no problem with that. My opinion today of Long Beach is it's not as much racially segregated as it is economically segregated. If you can't afford to get out of the bad areas of town, then that's where you wind up staying. And we kind of know that poverty hits people of color a lot harder than it does white people sometimes. And that keeps them in their areas in Long Beach that seems like they're segregated, but they're probably not. Today I live close to campus, and it is on the east side of Long Beach, so it's a white neighborhood primarily. But because a lot of people rent to students, there's a variety of students that live in our neighborhood from a variety of places. And I don't think that's a problem. I think it's good for our neighborhood to have a mix of people there. It enlightens the children that are growing up there as well. For them to grow up in a neighborhood where all they ever see is white people, they kind of wonder what's going on when they finally go to school.
I think, and oftentimes we hear in Long Beach that one of the things that makes the city great is that we're really diverse, and I think that's true in a very general sense that we have huge populations of Latinos, African Americans, Filipinos, Cambodians. We have the largest Cambodian population outside of Cambodia. But I think when you look at the demographics and where large concentrations of people, and when you do the ethnic breakdown of the populations, we find that Long Beach does look a little bit more segregated, right? We have a large concentration of African Americans living in North Long Beach, a lot of Latinos living in Central and North Long Beach as well, a lot of Filipinos, majority on the west side of Long Beach, a lot of Cambodians in the central side. So I think in terms of that, we have some problems there where we really look into integrating more of the community, because we have these little separate pockets of enclaves in the city, whether in Belmont Shore or MLK or up on Artesia. I mean, there's a sense of community in all of those, and they're all different. There's some things that unite them that make them the same, but then also, community is really defined by the people that live around there. And so sometimes it might be hard for us if we live in, say, Belmont Shore, to then look at North Long Beach and say, that's an unsafe community. But, there's a lot of different factors that go into that, and that's defined by the people that live there. So I think on a surface level, we may look at these regions in the city of downtown to South Long Beach and east and the north, where they're all different, and some might be more dangerous, some might be more safe, but it's the values and the culture in that community that really define whether it's safe and what is a home.